So it's going to get a bit depressing now if it wasn't already enough for you. Um, yeah, so I just need to put a bit of disclaimer out there now. There may be things that are a bit upsetting, possibly a bit triggering, but there's some difficult issues coming up ahead. Now, all of this that I'm telling you right now, all of this is unscripted, so I'm just going along best I can. But I think there's going to be a few things that, yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's definitely going to be a bit difficult for me. But I also have to still explain that this video, this playlist is more like I need to get this out for me. I'm happy for people to go on the journey. And if you feel that you're getting anything out of it, like, oh my god, this has happened to me, or I can relate to that, and then at the end of this, you get some out of it, all the better. If I've helped one person, my job's done. But the main purpose is I need to lay everything on the table for everyone to see. Not only because I can show people who have wronged me in my life to see what they've done and the effects that it has had, but also just on the very off chance for if there are any bullies or anyone who may be treating someone unfairly can look at this and say, ah, what have I done? Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes, so the weekly movie going experience. Yeah, that was fun at the end, I say sarcastically. So this is the point where it's going to get a bit, well, it was difficult to live through, and you think it was bad from what I've been talking about before. That's nothing. You see, I'm kind of laughing right now, but you kind of have to. Because how can this be real? How can this have happened? It's just too silly. God, we're making this up. Nah. No, it happened. So, yeah, it got to the point of any time now that this uncle, I am going to call him for the purposes of these videos W Uncle. Make up your own mind of what the W stands for. And look, it later it was later made known to me that when he broke up, she was being unfair to say the least to him, and I get that he was going through his own stuff after this situation about me living in the house, and his relationship broke apart after having a kid, by the way. um, I get it, I do get it, but there's still no excuse for family being broken up. Being a Doctor Who fan, in the latest series with Peter Capaldi anyway, always be cruel, or never be cruel, uh, cruel kindly, all that kind of stuff. I forget right now because my head's mainly on this. Never be cruel, never be cowardly, or if you are, you always make amends. Now, looking back on it, maybe there were things I could have done. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, really isn't, but you know. Um. Anyway, so thereafter, I started receding into my bedroom. Anytime he'd come over, bedroom. Would not set foot out until he had gone. Now, in the beginning, it wasn't so bad. I would come down if I needed the toilet or needed to make food, but literally, I'd come downstairs because from the bedrooms to the kitchen and bathroom, you have to go through the main living room where everyone was and where he would be when he came over. And I kept doing that for a little bit, maybe a few weeks, month maybe. And then I got started to get so anxious that I just couldn't do it anymore. So anytime he'd be over, I'd be in my room. And at the time, thank God that he only done it for a few hours at a time and then left. And it started to get longer and longer with her. And I just stopped doing it all the time when they came over. Eventually, they had a kid, and it got worse because when I was over, it was all. Now, look, I have to make this clear, and it's not just for this kid because there are other members of my family that had done the same thing to because I was never comfortable around children. Never have been, probably never will be, with the exception of my own kids. Whenever I get around to doing that, it's not necessarily just the kid; it's the way people act around them, and I just can't get into that when they're not mine. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not that I hate everything and they're wrong for doing it the way they do, but it's just nothing. I guess I'm probably never going to know unless I have my own children. But anyway, my bedroom was above the living area and it was so loud all the time. It's like, yay, hey, oh my god, Harvey. And he used to like shout and everything. And obviously, being a baby, couldn't understand the bloody thing you're talking about. Never stopped him. And I had headphones on or had TV on loud. And this went on for hours. Every damn weekend. And because I started associating kids and him and her coming over, um, it started to expand to not just them coming over, but anyone coming over eventually. Not because I didn't like anyone, no, it's because they were always over when people came over. And because my grandparents, my parents, and I lived with them, everyone everyone came over to them. Which, okay, fine, whatever. It's how it was. But unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, it just didn't help. And I just never really had that peace. Okay, I used to go to work and stuff, I'd come back, and then the whole weekend I had to put up with other people coming over, making a racket, and I just got so anxious that I couldn't leave my bedroom until people had gone. And especially with him and her, this could be 9 o'clock in the morning to after supper, tea time, whatever you call it, 6, 7 o'clock. And I'm thinking, for goodness sake, don't you have anywhere bloody else to go? And I was grateful they were on a very rare occasion. And look, I hate saying this, but I'm so glad that on the rare occasion, my grandparents went over there instead. And the thing is, when there were times, if I didn't want to be in my room and I wanted to actually go out and see people, I had to get out early. I'm talking 8. Sometimes he'd come then as well. Then I'd be fucked. I've cancelled plans because of this, and had cut a heavy price for my social circle, which eventually went down to 1 or 2 people because of this. Because I was so in fear of coming out of that room. Let's put it this way: there were 3 bedrooms on the top floor. My room, my uncle's room, my grandparents' room. My uncle, sorry, not my uncle. My dad slept downstairs. Eventually, he moved out because he met someone, nice enough lady. Nice enough lady. Not a thing bad to say about her. Really not. Absolutely not. Anyway, he moved out, but that's something I am going to go through in another video. And I was felt so much backed up into a corner because there were times where I hadn't got down on my hands and knees, but I did beg. I begged for people to help me. I didn't have the mental or emotional capacity to help myself. And it went on for years. And you know what happened? Lots of empty promises. And when it came to the holidays, guess where I was? And I started breaking down every so often. I can't remember when it was, but there was a time where someone had said to me, I think it was actually my grandmother, who said, come on, this is just happening way too often. This is like the sob story now. I'm going to put that down to being old school. But look, I wasn't asking my grandparents to sort it out. I did, but I wasn't necessarily expecting them to go through the whole arguments of everything, because there would have been damn arguments. You see, with me, and it stems for this, I have a lot of difficulty initiating, starting things, because of, and it's from something as simple as leaving my room. So I procrastinate a hell of a lot on stuff. I'm getting better at it. There were certain things at work today that I procrastinate over because of anxiety, because of this. I'm trying. But yeah, I just couldn't. I couldn't. The notion of me actually going up to him and saying, look, we need to talk, it was in the realm of impossibility. But all I got from people, from my aunts, and whoever else, nope. Kept promising, keep arranging stuff. There was actually one time where it was going to happen, but apparently got cancelled last minute or something. And oh no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. So apparently they had said something to him, and then he turned round to my grandparents and says, oh, I've not got any problem with him, after years of isolating myself. And it wasn't just a case of putting myself in my room for hours and hours on end. I used to do myself something quick to eat that lasted the whole day until supper. And okay, this is the thing that I wasn't sure whether I was going to mention on this video, on this playlist, but I think I've seen it I've looked it up on Google and various forums and that, and yeah, I don't know if you can hear that. It's just a notification. Um, I looked it up and I think I saw one person ever mention it on like Yahoo or something. Look, when you're that stressed and you don't know what to do and you're literally shaking because you just can't leave, you're having to improvise on a few things. It's not something I've ever been proud of, and unfortunately, it wasn't. Um, Unfortunately, it wasn't just at my grandparents' house. It was in other situations as well where I couldn't physically get out of the place because of my own anxiety. If anyone who I know is watching this, hell's Owen, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But again, that's way further on, so I'll be getting that. I'll be getting to that too. But for now, I used to save up plastic bottles, and whenever I needed to go to the toilets, I wasn't short of urine samples. Let's put it that way, because I couldn't leave my room. I am in no way proud of it. Luckily, it never ever came to a number two, a dookie. But yeah, just wait till you hear what happens next.